Cool.
So, Reed, you started your music career at a very young age. What inspired you to try music at all?
Well, I grew up listening to a ton of music. I don't really think there was ever a point where I said, this is my life. This is what I want to end up doing. I think it just kind of happened. So I started when I was about 5 years old, just singing along to albums. I got a record player when I was 5 years old, and my mom gave me like a bunch of albums for my birthday one year. She gave me like a Josh Groban album and a Harry Connick Jr. album and like an Aretha Franklin album, and I just like listened to a ton of music. I was a total connoisseur of music, and as a kid, my voice was like as high as the female singers, so I could sing the same songs that they sang, and I just love singing. I don't really think I sat down and said I'm gonna be a recording artist. I don't think that ever happened. I think I just kind of fell in love with music, and then it took me where I ended up.
Cool. So, what made you decide to try out for X Factor?
X Factor, that was, I'd been singing and rehearsing and writing music and recording music then for about 3 years. And I thought it was time to try something. X Factor had always been a great platform for, they'd launched all kinds of big people. And I'm like, you know what, I'll give it a go. Let's just see what happens. I was 13, nothing to lose, right? So I show up and it went pretty well, I think. And I learned a lot. And, it's been fun things ever since.
So, how would you describe your musical style?
Um, you know, I'm definitely a pop singer, but I'm influenced by a lot. Um, I grew up listening to very non-pop records, and I grew up listening to very pop records. But you know, I love rock music. I love hip hop. I love R&B and B and soul, and I love EDM. And I think the things that I've experienced in my life and the artists that I've listened to in my life have kind of influenced me in touches. I don't really believe in genre in the sense of, like, I don't think that all your music has to sound the same. I think as an artist, one of the greatest things you can do is experiment and constantly be challenging yourself to, do a bunch of cool things. And, that's what I believe in. And I think my music is a reflection of my influences, but, I think my voice is what ties it all together.
Yeah. So, what artists do you look up to right now?
Oh man, One Republic is the reason I started music. I love Coldplay. I love John Bellion. I love Zed. I love uh, you know I grew up listening to a lot of Bruno Mars, a lot of Maroon 5. Uh, just a lot of really really talented songwriters. I think were the people that really grabbed me because songwriting is such an incredible part of making music because that's the story. And that's what really made me love creating music, was telling a story and getting to draw from my experiences to really create something beautiful and something moving. And my favorite thing is to make people feel things when with my music, and that's kind of what inspired me.
Cool. So, can we expect any new music soon?
Well, we're in a studio right now, so definitely. I've been working. I've tracked 8 songs over the past 4 days. I'm doing another 2 today, so I can't really say what it is we're releasing. If it's an EP, album, single, don't really want to give it away. Might be a mixtape for all we know, but it just depends. But I don't want to spoil the surprise. But let's just say that this is going to be probably the greatest body of work, definitely the greatest body of work I've ever created. And I think people are really going to enjoy it.
Well, that's awesome. So, what's your process to writing your songs?
Every single song is different. I've started sometimes I'll be in a really inspiring place, somewhere that really catches my eye and I get inspired by the scenery. Sometimes, I'll experience something and I'll write about it. Sometimes I'll have like a friend or a family member that experiences something and I'll write about it. But generally, each song is different. And the beautiful thing about all the songs I'm recording here is that each one has its own story. And the fact that each one is different is what makes it so fun and so addicting, is because you never know what it's going to be. And, it's an adventure for me, and it's a roller coaster of emotions that kind of turn songs into what they are. So that's what I love about it. And every single one is different.
Oh, for sure. So, I also watched a few of your music videos. What's the process of making a Reed Deming music video?
Woo! It's definitely a lot going on. you know, I've worked with a lot of really, really talented people, both on and off camera. And, it starts with a really great concept, and then you show up, and a lot of it is on the spot. So we'll be in a location. We'll be like, oh my gosh, this has a pool. Let's shoot a scene by the pool. Or there's like for the Want Me More video, that was totally something that we didn't expect to shoot. That kind of came up. We're like, oh, this is gorgeous. Let's shoot here. And, a lot of videos have been like that for us, where it's really just kind of finding the right place and coming up with ideas on the spot is what makes it really fun for me. And yeah, like the songs, every single video is a very different process. And, you look back on it, you're like, I don't know how we pulled that off sometimes, but you do it. And it's such a wonderful experience. Filming videos is probably the second best experience, I think, next to performing it live in a concert setting.
So you also do a lot of covers. What's the process of choosing a cover song for you to do?
Covers, I tend to like to do songs that people are kind of afraid to do. Again, I like to take songs that are out of my genre and make them me. I literally yesterday just recorded a Lil Yachty cover, who is very much like a part of the ignorant hip hop movement. And like a week ago, I did a country song. So each one's different, and each one's, a challenge, and you get to kind of take the music bed and you're like, all right, so this is what they did here. Now, how do I make this pop? How do I make this me? And, it's so much fun. I just kind of get lost in the process sometimes. And sometimes you'll be sitting there 4 to 6 hours just perfecting all the sounds and getting it right. But, it's worth it in the end when you've got a good finished product and you get to share it with people and people enjoy it. So that's my favorite part of it, honestly.
What was your favorite cover song to record?
Ooh, gosh. I think I did this one cover of From the Ground Up by Dan and Shay, and that one was really fun to do because it's very much country pop, and I'm not a country singer at all, so I had to kind of define like a new element there, and I did it real stripped down. It was just guitar and piano, and just the vocal really drove the song, and that one was really fun. I've done a couple of R&B covers. I've done a lot of pop covers, a couple rock covers, and each one's so much fun. Like it's hard to choose a favorite. It's like, yeah, it's very difficult to choose a favorite. They're all like my little children.
So like you said before, you love to perform live. What's your favorite song to perform live?
Oh gosh, Crash Test Dummy, easily. That one is really great. Roller Coaster is a phenomenal opening song, I think, in terms of its energy and in terms of just getting the crowd hype. I think it's a great song to do that. And I mean, Crash Test Dummy, I've been singing that song for 2.5 years now, but I still feel it when I go on stage. So, and then I would say, in terms of these new ones, like those are definitely going to take the cake in terms of my favorites. But everything off of the last EPs I've put out is super fun, and the crowd dictates so much of that. It's like the song can be great, but it's all about how the crowd interacts, and they really make the show what it is.
So how does it feel like to have them like singing your own music back to you?
That's an unreal feeling. Because, my last EP, I was the only songwriter on the whole record. So, everything was conjured up like in my bedroom, like 10 o'clock at night when I was writing a bunch of songs, just like, sometimes you'll stay up to like 4 a.m. working on stuff, but it's unbelievable because, the idea that your words have meaning and the idea that people will memorize your words and your lyrics and your melodies, because the words are the most important part of the song. So, I'm really moved by that a lot, and it's awesome. I love it.
How do you want your relationship to be with your fans?
The relationship with my fans is really special, and it's very intimate, and them appreciating what I do and I appreciate what they do. It's nothing but love both ways, and I'm so thankful for them. So such an incredibly supportive group of people, and such a very talented group of people. Oftentimes we forget how talented, fans of an artist are, with their drawings and with their covers, and it really blows me away. Like, I'm like, I feel like you should be the one singing the song and not me. Jeez, making me look like I'm an amateur over here. Some of my fans are so talented, and they're incredible people too.
What was your craziest fan encounter?
Oh gosh, where do we start? Let's see. Let me think of one. What was one on the Poison Summer tour? I remember one fan snuck on the bus. That was funny. One fan snuck on the bus. We had a couple that it was last year. I was on Boys of Summer Tour 2015, and there were some fans. Or no, this was Boys of Summer Tour 2016. We had some fans that followed us about 3 hours in the tour bus to our hotel, and literally checked in that night because they wanted to spend more time with us, which was cool. I was exhausted, obviously, because, we had just played, 4 shows straight, and I was getting my first break in forever. So I wasn't really in the mood to go out and party, if you know what I mean. But it was nuts. So they followed us all the way back from the venue to the hotel. And that's probably taken the cake so far, I think.
Yeah, that's great. So can you tell us a little bit about the Boys of Summer Tour?
Boys Summer was great. I mean, we had a wonderful experience, and it was super, super 120% energy all the time. It's such a young, fresh group of people that I'm touring with, because I've been doing this for about 3 years in terms of heavy touring, and touring with guys. This is their first tour. It's refreshing, and it kind of reminds you of when you first started, and it was such a wonderful time, and they taught me how Musical.ly works and how to do all that, and they taught me about Snapchat, and it's their life. So I was like in their world with this tour. So it was really fun. It was really interesting, and I learned a lot, and they're really, really nice kids, and we've gotten along so well. We've really become a big group of friends. It's been wonderful.
So are you going to tour your new music when it's released?
That's the plan. The key is getting it right, and then once we get it right, finding an amazing group of people that want to be a part of something great, and then we all hit the road together, and then sky's the limit.
That's awesome. So what's an average day for Deming look like?
Well, I think the best way to answer that is, what did I do yesterday? I woke up and drove to the studio. It's like an hour and a half drive. Got in the studio. We tracked 2 songs. We filmed a cover. And we did an acoustic version, like a live acoustic version of one of my songs that was already recorded. And we got done at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and went back home and fell asleep immediately. And that's basically been my week so far, just showing up and making music all day. And then it's just going as late as you got it until the project's over. But it's well worth it, and hard work pays off. So I wouldn't change anything.
So what goals have you set out for yourself in your career and personal life?
Ooh, career, I would say, I actually made this goal a couple of days ago. I want to play a show in front of 10,000 people in every major city in the world. Like that's a huge benchmark, and that's going to be tough to do, but I believe it's possible. And with this new music, it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I'm going to chase it with everything I got. So that's the goal in terms of career, and maybe we'll do some fun things along the way. Release 4 or 5 albums. Hopefully maybe one day get critically acclaimed for my work, win a Grammy, a BBMA, a VMA, something like that. Just something to kind of, I guess, to justify making the music, I suppose, but just something to remind myself of the hard work and the dedication and all the people that made it possible is really the most important part to me. As for my personal life, I mean, I don't ever want to stop loving music. When I go to a studio, I feel like a kid in a candy shop. Like, I've been doing it for a while, but there's still I still get so excited when I'm there, and I'm bouncing off the walls 24/7 because I'm just so excited to be making music and doing what I love. And I don't ever want that feeling to go away. And that's really my biggest personal goal is to never let my love for music fade over time.
So how has this whole getting into a music career felt like for you?
Gosh, I don't even know where to start. I mean, it's been so crazy, and nothing that I expected to happen actually ended up happening. You kind of walk in with this idea of what it's going to be like. All right, I'm going to go make an album and then tour, and then I'm going to tour again, and then it's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And next thing you know, I'm going to be selling out stadiums in a year. And it's not like that at all. It takes a long time, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's very different from what you'd expect. Sometimes you're pampered, and sometimes you're sleeping on hotel floors, and every tour is different. And in terms of my personal growth as an artist, it's been unbelievable. I'm making music now that I would have never expected myself to make, 2, 3, 4 years ago, probably even 6 months ago. And that's just because I've been inspired by so much and I've been influenced by so much. And I think who I am is a reflection of what I've experienced and what I've been influenced by. And what got me here is where I've been. So
that's awesome. So do you have any advice for other aspiring music artists?
Yeah. Make music. A lot of times we get caught up in social media. A lot of times we get caught up in, the idea of getting popular on the internet, getting 1,000 likes on a snap or what I'm gonna say, 1,000 views on a Snapchat, or a bunch of hits on Musical.ly because that's what makes you more popular. A lot of times what we forget is that music is music, and you got to really love it. You got to do it with all your heart. And the social media and all the popularity and the money and all that will come in time. And what you've got to do is you've got to make your focus the art. If you lose that focus, then everything is going to go downhill, and people are going to kind of, they're not going to understand you because, you're not going to understand yourself. You have to stay true to what you love. And that's something that I've learned with being on so many social media tours like Boys of Summer and Digitour and all those, just kind of learning that there's so much more, in the world of music that I haven't gotten to experience yet. And I want to chase it, and I love it with all my heart. And that's what I want to be when I grow up. So that's what I want to be for the rest of my life. So I think my biggest piece of advice would be to write a ton of music and write every day, and never give up. Don't set a benchmark and be like, if I don't get here in this amount of time, then I shouldn't do this. Pursue it with everything you got, and you'll get there, because eventually everyone else is going to give up and you're going to be the only one left standing.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with us.
Thank you. No, totally. I hope I gave you guys everything you need.
Oh, for sure. Bye.
Perfect. Bye-bye.